What's up? This is Nak3d Eli, the mostly unclothed gamer, here with mission 4 of my legendary guide. This mission is a beast. If you have been having troubles with it on legendary, I completely understand where you're coming from. This is, I believe, the longest mission that I've ever uploaded on my channel. It is a full 20 minutes and this is going fast. So for those of you who were having troubles, this mission taking you multiple hours, this should help you take it down to size. Hopefully this will help you get through it in less than half an hour if you follow all my little tips on skipping parts and getting through the mission battles really quickly. So right here, we're going to be like George of the Jungle, and we're going to climb through the vines and treetops and completely avoid this entire first fight. Look at all the enemies on the bottom of the radar. Screw them, jump over to the left like this. These two crawlers are going to spawn, take them out real fast, and keep on moving. Right here, we're going to have some more crawlers to take out, and make sure that Watcher goes down. You're going to have 4 more crawlers on the way. Now the first half of this mission is all fighting on foot like this. Make sure you target that guy on the right there. He has a binary rifle. That is a one-shot kill. You can tell when they have a binary rifle because they start charging up like this red circle around their face. It's really kind of 343 to give the binary rifle sort of an indicator because you don't get the same thing in matchmaking. There's sort of, you know, that red laser that pops out of the Spartan who's using it, but that doesn't mean that they have to charge it up, right? It's just immediate boom, you're dead. Now those first 3 guys I just killed all had binary rifles, so really make sure to target them. I'm using the Magnum because it's really useful at this range, and I don't want to waste my DMR ammo that we're gonna need for later on. The DMR is my favorite weapon to use in matchmaking as well as in campaign. The light rifle is pretty good too, but right here we're gonna conserve all the ammo on all of our weapons, and you'll see why coming up. Mega fights on the way. Now, maybe in the future, people will find ways to, you know, get through this fight without having to kill everything, but I find that it's honestly safer just to remove all the enemies from this part of the mission, because if you try to move up, this knight spawns here, all these crawlers start coming at you, so it's just easiest to take them all out, and then we're going to swap, actually. It's really, really important right here to get this auto sentry and light rifle. Screw the binary, we ran out of all the ammo anyways, and we're going to need as much ammo as we can for the fights coming up. So we got 2 primary rifles now, great for taking out crawlers as well as for taking out watchers and even knights. We're gonna have some grenade combinations going on to help take those guys out because they are beasts in this game. All right, so move up on the left. We're gonna dodge another fight, little one on the bottom. And this part I think should take out as many enemies as possible. If you can, kill that Watcher before he gets away because he'll recharge his shields, and I don't know if he has shields or if he just health that he regens, but he definitely regenerates. Hit all those crawlers in the face, take them out, take out that crawler up there, and again, use the treetops as cover as much as possible. It will help you so much with all of these fights. And of course, this is a segmented run, so I have cut out all of the deaths from my run in this. There were definitely deaths, and I've shown you how to optimize all of the different fights. Right here, I thought he would be dead a lot faster than that. Luckily, got that last hit on the knight. And next time, just don't jump down, you know, just take your time. You guys don't have to be rushing through this. I didn't want this video to be like an hour long, obviously, because you could literally just take your time, kill everything, play it super safe, and that's faster than dying a bunch of times, but it's not as fast as creaming through and being really risky with the battles that you take. So that's what I'm trying to do in this video. Now we're 3.5 minutes in, already at the last IFF tag. We're gonna find a bunch of little Spartan 4s in here, friendlies, and now the real fighting starts on this mission. Up to this point, you did not have to truly fight and finish any of those battles, but moving on from here, you're going to have to kill and slaughter as many enemies as possible in as fast of a time frame as possible. So we're going to move out here. There's a terminal right behind that, actually. This is Rally Point Bravo if you just started up. I made the terminal guides, but for those of you who haven't seen it, that's where the terminal is. Now put out the auto sentry immediately. This guy sucks in matchmaking, but is an absolute beast in campaign. Draws their fire and does a lot of damage to them. Now you saw right there the knight, he was getting ready to charge me, so I started backing up. If you back up, it's much harder for the knight to hit you, and you have a good time to put a headshot in on him if his shields are down. I don't even know when he charges. Maybe it's only when his shields are down and he's really frustrated with you. Maybe it's just when he decides to and he gets really angry. I don't even know yet. So right here, I'm just trying to throw grenades, and I have 2 more pulses that I honestly could have been throwing at this guy, but he goes down really fast thanks to my teammates. Now this fight, I've actually found a way to skip it, but I tried to use the auto sentry to take all the fire and keep both Marines alive, and you'll see why in this next section. So right here, going to use the auto sentry again. I try to take out the crawlers if you notice first. The knights are really difficult to kill, and if you're targeting them, all the crawlers can completely overwhelm you. There's so many of them on legendary, and they're really difficult to take out. So all in all, try to target the crawlers first and the knights last. That's usually the order that I find is best. So this is the fight that you absolutely have to fight and kill everything. So just pull out those primary rifles and target everything as fast as you can. Try to hit all those headshots, conserve some of that ammo because there really isn't a lot of this on the map. And also the bolt shot is not very good. All right, now take out that auto sentry. I really want to point this out because as you could tell, it was targeting the Marines, and it kills your Marines very quickly. And we want as many Marines alive on this part as possible. Now this, I'm moving up the right side. Thought he'd be dead a little bit sooner, whatever. Gonna get to this part, target these 2 crawlers immediately. Did I say crawlers? I meant watchers, I'm sorry. These watchers do have faces, so if you can hit him in the head, that's the best, obviously. These guys would have activated these 2 huge sentinels that are like, I don't know, Promethean turrets, and we do not want that to happen. So we're killing all these guys first. I noticed that normally the knight will turn around, but there he didn't turn all the way around, just on the side, and I missed the back smack, but it's all good. Here, gonna use the railgun to take out the shields on this guy, and then pop him in the face, because I don't know if you noticed, but you can obviously headshot the knights. When I first played the game, I didn't realize they actually had faces, nor did I realize that the crawlers had faces, that the watchers have faces, but I think 343 intentionally designed them to have heads so that they felt a little more real, not as mechanical, not as artificial, and a little more of a visceral feeling of success when you actually kill them. Now right here, notice how I kept all my Marines alive and I put up the auto sentry, so these guys are going to do all of the work for me pretty much. If you don't have these knights on you, you can be using the turret to take all these guys out, but I've honestly never seen enemies go down so quickly. Like, I'm pretty sure if I didn't even shoot anything during this battle, that my Marines would have just taken everything out with their turrets. Just look at them completely slaughtering everything. So that's the advantage of actually keeping your Marines alive in Halo 4, is they can finally do something, whereas in all the previous Halo games, the only time they're good is if you put a fuel rod or rocket launcher in their hands and drive them around in the side seat of a Warthog or something. So right here, you have to kill everything as fast as possible. Once all these enemies are cleared out, you can run to the next part of the mission where there are going to be a few enemies working together. It's a little secret that you'll see if you haven't played through the campaign. I'm not going to ruin it because it's going to come up pretty soon. Right here, look at this. They're just completely obliterating with the, what is that, triple turret. Just absolutely wonderful. Thanks for all the help, Marines. And unfortunately, they don't come with you to the next part of the mission. They're just like, all right, I'm done. My time's off. See you, Chief. Go have fun on the next part. Let us know how the knights are doing. So we're going to run down this little corridor, and you're going to see a knight sort of yelling at all of his little teammates over here. But his teammates are not exactly Prometheans, if you know what I mean. So we're going to go here and for the first time see that the knight is actually directing the Covenant. And it turns out that the Didact has convinced the elites and the jackals and the grunts to be on his side. So if you haven't been playing through the game and watching all the cutscenes, basically the Didact is not completely out of his cryptum, but using his cryptum as a mobile sphere to get around, direct, and influence enemies. He's retaken over all of the knights and enemies. So instead of them being blue, that's why they're orange. We were wondering why they were blue and orange. We thought maybe Cortana had control of some of them in previous theories, but no, it just turns out that it's the... Oh, I almost just made a spoiler. My bad. But yeah, they were blue, and now they are red/orange. Red versus blue, but it looks really orange. I don't know. So right here, the railgun actually comes in handy. Try to use the auto sentry as much as possible. What I tried to save it for was the knights and grunts at the beginning. But really, honestly, at this point, I could have had the auto sentry up the entire time. Grab the carbine from the jackal on the right, and you can use it to headshot some of these enemies coming out. Or you can just use the railgun to blow some stuff up. So here we go. Boom, they're taken out. And I have no headshot weapons whatsoever. but you want to have a plasma pistol for these knights that are about to come up. So you get prepared, you come on here, move on in, you can take out his shields and double punch him, or hope that you get behind him, use a scatter shot to charge and clean up any enemies left, and then look at this, he's gonna fly at me and I'm gonna take him out, 2-shot, you going down. And that is clearing out this fight, which you had to do. You had to kill every single enemy. There's no getting around it. We're waiting for the Pelican now. And that fight can actually be really difficult if you're low on ammo. So in the last part of the mission, maybe it would help to grab a light rifle off of one of the dead knights, or grab one of the plasma pistols, or bolt shots, just as much ammo as you can to take out all the enemies in this area, because that honestly for me was the hardest part, was getting down to having to literally pick up the scatter shot off a knight that I just killed to finish off the rest of the enemies in the area. So now the second half of the mission, we are moving on to the big vehicles. This is the tank, and we're going to move up. Forget the jackal on the left who doesn't have any needler. We already took out the jackals on the right with the plasma pistols. A Wraith's going to come around the corner. It requires 2 direct shots to take it out. So we can keep on moving, keep on chugging along. Tanks are pretty simple, honestly. There's not a lot of explanation. It's literally just point and shoot, point and shoot. But what you do have to know is where to target and what your priorities are when there are lots of enemies. So there's a jackal there on the left. He has a plasma pistol. Probably should have killed him before moving up, but it turns out to be okay. Target the ghosts if they're being really annoying, but primarily you want to target fuel rods. There's a lot of fuel rod grunts in this area hanging out in these towers, so I try to target all of the towers first before even worrying about anything else if there are towers in sight. Like right down there, there's another tower that you got to target. And then to the right, this is really important to take out that fuel rod. He's kind of hidden in the corner. And the first time through, I'm pretty sure he absolutely slaughtered me. One of the fuel rod guys that I forgot, you'll see right here. Oh my god, that almost completely destroyed me. Luckily, got a good shot in on him. Now clean up these 2 ghosts, and we're going to swap out the tank, because this tank, if we were to push forward in it, would get, I don't know, just really destroyed. It'd probably be on fire. There's going to be a section where we want to take it up an elevator, and we want a tank that is in good condition. So we're going to take this Wraith right here, target that. I don't know what's in it, probably something important. Kill all these guys so they can't plasma pistol your Wraith down, and then we're going to charge around. You don't even have to kill this Wraith in the next part, because honestly it barely ever kills me when I just speed right past it, but it does get a nice little shot right behind me. So if you want to take the time to shoot it, try to stay close to the enemy Wraith. That way it doesn't actually bomb you. It only bombs you when you're at like a medium distance from it. Now right here we have 4 grunts on the right, 3 or 4, and they got some plasma pistols, so you want to be careful. Try and take out as many as possible before moving on. Right here I get a shot in here, think that I'm close enough that he won't shoot, but he does anyways. Dodge the shot, and then I'm sorry Marine, I just completely splattered you, my bad, but we don't need them anyways because we are at the elevator and we're going up to the next part of the mission. Right up here, there's going to be some hunters and fuel rod elites and grunts and lots of important enemies to kill and things to run over and blow up. Lots of explosives, and I like that they allow you to take the tank up here, because there's parts of like other missions where they will despawn your tank if it gets past a certain point, and I am not a fan of that. Like if you can fit something somewhere, it should be able to go there. And that can be taken in so many wrong ways. I apologize. All right, so right here, I completely just went Rambo on all these guys. Moved on in, probably not the best idea. Almost get destroyed from this fuel rod. But you know what? It's good for me because I get to splatter things and I get to shoot things. It's just more fun that way. Now, what's going on in the story is Del Rio is a jerk. If you know or have been following his character, he was selected. This is talked about a little bit in Thursday War. I'm not really going to spoil anything, but just the fact that he was selected because no one really likes him, and he just does what is told. He doesn't really think for himself. He's not a genius by any means, and so he definitely has that personality trait that comes off in the game as just someone who is not likable at all. And he is, for some reason, the captain of the Infinity. But Lasky, who we had learned about him in Forward Unto Dawn, he's the second in command under Del Rio. So I think the whole point is that when Del Rio screws up, Lasky can then take over. And everyone loves Lasky, so that'll look really good, and everyone will be happy, yay. So now we are moving on to the Mantis. This was the mech that everyone was freaking out about so long ago that we saw it in campaign, and people are like, why are we bringing mechs into the Halos? But I honestly think it's a lot of fun. It's something new, it's something different. It does feel a little bit out of place to me. Like, why does a mech just randomly appear in the Halo universe? Like, we've never heard about them before. They've never really been hinted at. Actually, I take that back. There was a prototype for the Spartans that they were using. The old Spartan suits were basically like these huge mechs. And if you think about it, Spartan suits in a sense are mechs themselves, that they don't have cannons and guns sort of coming out of the arms, but they are these mechanical suits that add so much to the human body and the human brain and power to utilize them. So honestly, I'm just sort of running straight through everything here. Doesn't even matter. Try to take out those plasma pistols as best you can. Those sentinel beam things barely hurt you, I've noticed. As you can see, they've got like 3 shooting at me at one time. I'm not even on fire yet. I will be pretty soon, I think, though. Eventually, when you get to around this part, if you haven't been destroying every single little thing along the way, you will start to take some real damage. So either just hurry up and do it really fast, or just take your time and clear everything out. It's really whatever you want to do. So we're going to get on to the end of this mission with the mech, and then we're going to have a fun little section in sort of the sky. It's a really cool sky battle, I should say, between the UNSC and the Covenant and the Didact. It's kind of epic, actually, like how they've set this up to be your first time using the mech is just rummaging through all these enemies, Covenants, Knights, working together, all these laser beams set up, shooting at you, and you're just like, I don't care, I am in a mech, and I am a beast, and I can teabag, and I can just stand still and rotate my upper half of my body like an insect. This is kind of weird. It just looks weird looking at it. I don't know. I was playing around with it. I'd never really noticed that you could do that before. But whatevs, it's pretty cool. I'll take it. So after that long elevator ride, you come into this room, and this is the door finally leading out into the big battle. There's going to be 3 locks on turrets that we're going to want to take out immediately. The reason is that once those are undone, these huge guns can start helping you clear out the Covenant. And the sooner you neutralize those targets, the sooner that can happen. But watch out on the ground. They have some fuel rod grunts, they got some jackals, they got some elites shooting at you with the little plasmas, and the mech can take a lot of damage. So what I would worry about most is the fuel rods, because those completely destroy you. And then of course I'd say on equal level would be getting close to plasma pistols, because if those stop you and they start sticking you or using fuel rod on you, you are a goner. And once those targets are neutralized, I would say go grab a new mech. There are 2 mechs on the map besides the one that you take in, one all the way to the left, one all the way to the right. There might be others, but I don't think I've seen them. So I'm going to get out here and grab a new mech. Otherwise, this next part will be incredibly difficult. Like solo legendary, everything just tears you up so super fast. So what you want to do is get in the new mech and try to hang out by one of these turrets on the left side. You see right there are even banshees shooting at you, phantoms shooting at you, enemies on the ground, and I know the Mantis can take a lot of damage, but it really can't take that much on legendary. So right here, this is what I found to do. Instead of just hanging out in the middle and trying to go Rambo on everything, be sure to hide here. Use some of the cover. Don't just completely take every single shot that they throw at you. Once you use the cover, it'll be a lot easier for you to keep your mech alive. That's what I found. It might feel a little slower. You might feel like, dude, I'm in a mech. I don't care. I'll just do whatever I want. But staying close to these guys will give you cover that will help you stay alive a lot longer. And if you do happen to lose this second mech, remember that the third mech is just right over here on the right. Just try not to die or you'll be starting back at the checkpoint. This part's actually really easy on co-op. Like, I feel like the whole campaign is you can just fly through it with friends. You have extra ammo, infinite lives. Co-op Halo has always been a blast for that very reason. No matter how hard it is, you and your buddy can always get through everything together, even if you're not a very skilled player. But if you're not a skilled player, this mission, I'm just sorry, is really difficult if you're trying to do it solo legendary. So I'm hoping that this guide has helped you see some really unique paths to get through some parts of the mission, how to skip all the fights that you really don't need to fight and waste your time and ammo on, how to get through the really difficult fights using the auto sentry, some help for your marines. There's just a lot of parts of this mission that could be really difficult for certain players, so that's kind of why I'm making these for you guys. And this is such a long video, dude, like 20 minutes, but honestly I think it's a really fun mission. I really like it. It's not like the library, it's really drawn out and long, and I understand the purpose. It made you want to hate the flood, but it just made you hate life in general, right? Whereas this is very cool. Like, this is, you're going through a forest fighting all these enemies, clearing out this huge epic tank battle and then mech battle. So all in all, I'm really excited to have shared this with you guys, and I hope that you enjoyed it and that it's useful. I know a lot of you have been asking for mission 4 for the last couple days, and so here it is, and now I have missions 5 through 8 to go. We're halfway through the campaign. The Didact's going to take a ton of fire here, and then he's going to pace after the Mach gun, just completely puts that shot in him right there. And obviously my DMR is helping, right, and my assault rifle. So off he goes. That is the end of mission 4. All those assault carriers in the air, they just stood there. They didn't even help the Didact fight at all. Whatevs. I do not understand why that even happened. And so if you want to check out mission 5, click on the video on the left. And if you want to get some help with the terminals, then click on the video on the right. This is Nak3d Eli, and thank you for watching.